Yo, what's poppin'? You know what time it is? Your boy J Hill, Mr. J Hill Podcast. We in the building. Miss Skittlez in the building.
Yes.
How you feeling, first of all?
I'm feeling amazing. God has got me in a really good space right now, so I'm feeling good.
Why you got you in a really good space?
I mean, like in entrepreneurship, there's going to be different levels, and I feel like last year, at the end of the year, I wasn't really clear on what my next level was. Like, I think in business, especially when you've been in business so long, I started in business very young, and you go through so much, it's kind of like, all right, am I ready to just chill, or am I ready to turn it up a notch? And so I think God, like, constantly reminds me that, like, it's time to turn it up, so.
Was it like just feeling like it was on coast and like everything you wanted you was getting and like you ain't really had to do nothing, so you wasn't as motivated, or was it really hard and it looked different for you, so it kind of got scary?
So last year I was in a place of scaling my team. So I have multiple businesses, right? So I got to the height of my staff, which was like 42 employees. And that almost took me out. Just, and also I feel like when you started entrepreneurship, you don't really know the leader that you have the capacity to be until you lead in a bunch of people, right? So I had 42 people asking me, oh, where this go, how to do this, like 40, you can barely have 2 people asking you that and you ready to go crazy, right? So imagine 42 people needing me and needing my answers and needing my thought processes. It was just a lot. So I kind of went through November, December, I kind of was burnt out. I'm like, I just need people around me that think. Like, I don't care about your talent, I don't care about your skill. If you just use your brain, you're hired.
Just use your ingenuity and just like make it happen. Like, I understand.
Yes.
Like, even like in this field, like, I don't know, we'll record, I might have like a tag sticking out. And it's like, bro, like I get you my videographer or photographer, but if I have something, we people just say, bro, fix your shirt. Like, that ain't my job. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I get it.
So that caused me to be burned out. Also, as a small business, when you start paying a bunch of people, and I'm still a small business at the end of the day. I don't have no investors, no backing, no funding. So I'm still a small business. So when you paying people and you know that they're not, they don't got your back. They like, just waiting. Like, okay, I'm just sitting around waiting till she come up, or I'm waiting till this company be successful. Then I'm gonna ride that wave. Like, it really tugs at your heartstrings because you really don't know. Like, when you get to a certain level of success, you really don't know who's got your back and who's stabbing you in your back. Like, it becomes really, you start looking at everybody, like, especially when somebody that you really, really rode for betrays you, you start being like, okay, well, who's next? So I think November and December, I was just in that mode. And then, like, I took a trip. I heard from God, and God was like, no, you're good. Like, this is what you're meant to be doing. So
let's talk about betrayal and those heights of your career.
Yeah.
You feel me? I feel like a lot of times people see success and they feel like you just unstoppable. You like can't nothing happen to you, right? It's like all your family members is like, "Are you good? You ain't got much to worry about. You making all this money. You doing all this." It's like, bro, like, are you crazy? Like,
yes.
Are you retarded? Like, how does that even look? Someone on your level, like, as successful as you are, being betrayed. Like, what's some things that penetrate your heart and hurt your feelings?
I think the thing about me is I'm such a genuine person. That's what I always question God about, is I'm like, God, show me, like, why you set me up to be the most genuine person? Like, why you set me up to have a heart of gold and always pouring into people, always checking on people, like anybody that's around me, like my old staff, old people that I work with, they know, like, I would give the shirt off my back, the wig off my head to make sure you're good. Like, even if I'm not good. And most people in my area or my zone of genius, they don't even, like, we would never even tell nobody we weren't good. You know what I'm saying? So, like, the people, it gets to a point where everybody around you kind of needs something from you. So you start to build up a wall to say, well, dang, if everybody need me, how can I go to them about what I need? So when that betrayal come for, the person that's went, like, bro, like, went above and beyond, like, sleepless nights. And in my industry, like, I've had a marketing agency for 7 years. So my sleepless nights don't even be about me. It be about my clients. It be about the people I'm trying to help. It be about me seeing where they started and wanting them to grow and wanting them to be in a certain level, wanting them to have a certain amount of money, wanting me to see them taking care of their families, putting their families on. So when that betrayal come, it makes you question everybody else. And it makes you think like, dang, if this person rock with me, they said, I rock with you, I do this, I'm that, I got your back, we in it to win it, we loyal, we loyal from this, like all that. And then they betray you, it kind of just be like, all right, cool. But I also feel like if you harden your heart and stop being that same person that gave and gave and gave, like God will take your blessings away. Because he put you on this earth he put you on this earth with this type of heart for a reason. And sometimes, I don't know, like I'm talking about last year, I had I just had things like falling apart with people that I felt like I gave my all to. And I'm just like, okay.
Well, it's funny, like, I don't want to say it's the industry because that's such a vague response, but especially the entertainment industry, especially like just the industry when it comes to like, we got each other back, right?
Yeah.
You do something for me, I do something for you. In that industry, it feel like, I don't know, man. I say this a lot. Like, people just be weird. You feel me? Like, it's like you really don't see it until you see it. And in the moment you see it, it's like it's too late for us. Like, damn, I always knew you was weird, but it's like, damn.
I didn't know you was that weird.
Yeah, but not even just a person in particular, but like just situation. Like, you never thought, especially like when you grinding from the bottom to the top, right? We grinding and we getting it out the dirt. And it's like, bro, like, it really be the person that you least expected from.
Seriously.
And that shit
but
hurt.
I feel like, for me, it's like every lesson, there's a blessing.
No, for sure.
Like, for every single lesson that I've ever went through, even when I lost my company, ended up on an airbed, I was like, yo, like, these are people that signed me and was like, you're talented. Oh my God, your business, we're going to take it to the top. We're going to make this a $30 million company, like Juicy Couture, like looking me in my face, looking me and my husband, then boyfriend at the time, looking us in our face like, oh, you're going to make it, to 6 months later, fire me from my own company. Like, bro, I'm shook. Like, y'all put up this big facade about how I was so talented, how I was this, how I was that, how I would get everything I wanted. I signed the paper and everything went out the door. But like, at the end of the day, that lesson with me partnering and signing with investors and losing my company ended up being my biggest blessing. I then started a marketing agency. I didn't even know that I was really good at marketing. I didn't even know marketing was a thing. Right. You get what I'm saying? Like, I knew that I put people on. I know that I know how to get in a room, connect you with this person, then y'all win together. But I didn't know that it was like marketing. I didn't know it was a skill, right? Facts. So once I started my marketing agency, the company that actually was the reason kind of why I got fired from my original company, they came back to me and was like, we want to hire you to be a consultant. I was like, what? Here we go. Years later, my company makes $16 million. So that lesson that I had a $4 million clothing company. Oh, I'm lit. I'm good. Like, I'm popping off. My family taken care of. God knew that I needed to go through that to be able to experience what a $16 million company felt like. So when I go through stuff, I just be like, all right, God, I see you working. What's next? Like, it's kind of like, I feel like when you go through betrayal, when you go through doubt, when you go through insecurities, it's like training camp. Like, it's preparing you for a championship. Like, my favorite quote, and I had to take this in with myself, because in the beginning stages of entrepreneurship, and I don't know if you experience this, but when you get like your first 3 people, you like, we gonna make it to the top together. Like, I got your back, you got... And then, like... They leave. You
gotta find another one.
You like, yo... Then I started to get bitter inside. Like, what? You did this? I let you sleep on my couch. I bought you your first car. Like, what you mean you leaving? So I had to I had to develop something inside of me that literally said, God put us on this earth to win. It don't mean you got to win on my team. So whether you win on my team or not, you're going to win in whatever else you're doing. So I can't be mad that you go switch teams, because like when you look at LeBron, he started with the Cavs. I'm from Cleveland, of course. So he started with the Cavs. They were losing. He was a star player though, but the team was losing as a whole. He had to switch teams to go and get a ring. He had to switch teams to win at the end of the day. So God put us on this earth to win. It just means you got to switch a couple of team members around to find that winning team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy that you got that like inspirational thought process. Cause me, I'm a little bitter. Like, you switch my team, fuck you.
Really?
Like, so I think like even what you're saying, right? I think for me, I take it personal, and I say this all the time, but like, I can take something personal and not exude that in my everyday life, right? That makes sense.
You like my husband? I can't do that.
Yeah, so I can like me. I take it personal. I let it motivate me. I feel like, but I think even with you losing the gig from the $4 million company,
Yeah.
right? I feel like it had to be something in you to take it personal to be able to bounce back, because a lot of people, they take it to heart and it hurt their feelings. They can't bounce back. Me, I take it personal, and now it's like you don't be a part of my motivation. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be a part of my motivation, because now, but I'm not gonna hate you.
Yeah.
Like company I got fired from, like radio, right? I love the company. I was putting the company on a map.
Wow.
They got rid of me, and it's like, cool. Now all this is the motive, is to let you know that, yeah, you dumb as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Like, but it ain't no love lost, no harm done for real. But it really motivated me. Though.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I'm wondering, like, did that had to motivate you in some type of way?
Absolutely. I think for me, I dealt with a part of, and I think this is most entrepreneurs that start a business and it's going and it's growing and it's doing well, and then it fails or it doesn't work out, right? I think that's the part of it where you start to think like, is it me? Like, dang, what did I do? I did something wrong. I failed. I'm the reason why this company, I made the wrong decision. So for me, I internalized it first. And I started to be insecure with my own thought process when it came to entrepreneurship. So the first thing I had to get through is get through that. Like, nah, like people fail all the time. Yours is just a little bit more public, right? So once I got through that and realized like, and I didn't get through it, I called my friend and was like, hey, I lost my company. I have 4 individuals that working in my retail store and I need to pay them. Can you look over my resume? I'm about to apply at Best Buy. It's the highest paying job and it's right down the street. She was like, girl, if you built $1 million company, build another one. And that motivation now made me like, you know what? It's money in my emails. It's money in my Instagram. It's money all around me. Let me just start reaching out to people, being vulnerable to let them know, hey, I'm going through this thing right now, but that don't mean count me out. I still have these gifts. I still have these talents. And once I did that, that's when they started to bring me on, hire me, told me to start a consulting company, and I got my first 6-figure client.
Yo, how long did it take you from when you got fired, right, to get back on your feet? Was it a long time?
No. So I was with that company for 6 months. I got fired in November and I was on an airbed for 6 months. And I literally made it in my mind. I said, in April, I think that's the right time. October, April, whatever. But in April, when my lease was up in my New York apartment and I was Airbnb-ing it, I said, in April, I have to have a plan on how I'm going to get my brand back. I done spent so much bread with all my lawyers. You know, I've done all these things. I opened up another store. I try to, get them upset like it ain't working. So I need to devise a plan. So I devised a plan, sent them an email and was like, yo, this has to work. And they were like, oh, okay. And so I came back to them 6 months later, ended up buying my company back. But 6 months of, when I tell you 6 months of tears, 6 months of heartbreak, 6 months of insecure, being insecure with myself, it was 6 months, 6 months of grind.
I was going to ask you, did you ever, in those 6 months, did you ever feel like you wasn't capable or like you wasn't good enough? Did you ever, insecurities?
I definitely felt like I didn't feel like I wasn't good enough. I felt like I didn't know if this would work. So it's sometimes like when you working out, you're like, all right, I know if I go to the gym for another 30 days, it's going to work, right? With this, you don't know because you're dealing with lawyers. I ain't never lost my company before. I didn't know anybody else that had sold a company. I didn't know nobody else that had dealt with that. So it's not like I could just call them and be like, yo, I lost my company. How many months I gotta fight for this, fight for this stuff back? Like, and then they'll tell me, oh, it's gonna be 3 months. Like, I didn't know that. Right. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm grinding over here. I'm starting the icing agency. I'm starting a digital community called Girl Mob. I'm starting this. I'm starting that just to get the revenue that if we ever made it to an argument or we ever made it to court, I had the money to even fight them. You get what I'm saying? So it was 6 months, but every day, I'm talking about I wasn't getting my hair done. thank God I have an amazing husband. Like, that after going through all of that, still put a ring on my finger. Because most dudes ain't solid. Like, most dudes would be like, yo, this girl went from getting her hair done all the time, driving this G-Wagon, being fly, being lit, hopping on vacation, to no, babe, for your birthday, I'm going to bring a massage therapist to my office. Like, it was that bad. You know what I'm saying? So for me, 6 months later, to buy my company back and then go to China, I didn't even feel like the marketing agency was a thing for real. Like, I felt like once I got my clothing company back, we up. Right? Like, we got all these vendors, they ready for their orders. We are up once I get the license, once I get my trademark back. I go to China. I strike a deal in China where I own 50% of a factory in China. So I'm literally there like 14 times a year, learning Mandarin, like started with 39 employees, grew to 139 employees in China.
This is crazy.
In China, yo, for 5 years in China, like blood, sweat, and tears trying to build this thing. That thing worked. My marketing agency also worked. And my digital community, which is for female entrepreneurs, also worked. So I feel like you're not going to really experience light until you go through the darkness.
No, facts.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a lot, man.
It's a lot.
Jeez, that's like the grind is real.
The grind, it's still real.
Yo, this episode is sponsored by the Morning Meetup. Man, shout out to my guy, David Shands, man. He's probably one of the few people I know who actually built multiple multi-million-dollar businesses, right? He created the Morning Meetup to help other entrepreneurs do the same thing. Now, listen. As an entrepreneur myself, I know how hard it can get, especially when we start making money and we get to like this financial cap that we can't get past. And honestly, let's be real. They say it ain't what you know, it's who you know. We probably can't get past this cap because we either, one, outgrew the people around us, or two, we just being lazy and we ain't in the rooms we need to be in. It's just plain and simple. But trust me, this is your time because the Morning Meetup is that room we got to be in. It's filled with entrepreneurs getting to it. They reading different books every month, right? They holding each other accountable. And it's just honestly just something dope to be a part of. So listen, if you're an entrepreneur and you trying to get to this bag, you trying to flourish more than you've been flourishing now, you got to go to the morningmeetup.com. That's www.themorningmeetup.com and join now. Let's get to it. I see you there. So like looking back on it, right? I started saying this a little recently called like hindsight bias, right? Like you really, it always look easy looking back on something, right? Looking back on something, the story is always different than like going through it.
Yeah.
Right? Going through it, if somebody else is going through it, what do you tell them? What's the best advice you get them to get through it?
If you're going through it right now, the best advice I would tell you is to get people around you that can pour into you. Like, relationships are more than money.
The biggest currency for
Yes,
sure.
relationships will walk you in the door way before money will. My factory in China, I found that from a mentor. Like, I didn't even know that I didn't even call him my mentor. I was in retail when I was 20 years old, ended up at a trade show, started designing shoes with Jeffrey Campbell. Now I get to this company where, oh my God, I need to go to China because I don't want to get middleman again. I called Jeff. I said, hey, I'm going to China. I have no idea where to go.
Wait, what? That wasn't the Miley Cyrus thing?
No.
Damn.
No, I was young. I started my career on Scream Tour. Like, I was a music artist. So I started very early on as an entrepreneur.
Okay. So the China that was something separate. I thought you went to China for...
No, I went to China after I lost my company because I didn't know where to produce anymore. Yeah. I went to China. I started all of that after I lost my company.
Yo, so how does it feel to be like this? Because, you know, in this world, we always got so much to say about black women.
Yeah.
And, like, especially strong black women that don't really need nobody that's working and shit like that. How does it feel to be one of them, like, I don't know if it's 10%. I'm going to just say a fake number. 10% of the women in the world that's like this strong black woman that everybody got something to say about.
Yeah. So honestly, it feels good to me because I was raised by a strong black woman. My mom was a single mother. I didn't see her have... So there are some things that I put into my life to make sure that my daughter experiences. I've never seen my mom love properly. So that's a non-negotiable for me. I've never seen my mom ever financially free. So that's a non-negotiable for me. I never see my mom travel. My mom, when she passed, never made it on an airline, right? So here I am traveling around the world, My daughter's 5. She's been on 500 flights. She's been in 15 countries. So it's certain things in my life that are like non-negotiables because yes, I was raised from a strong woman, but I seen what she went through. And there's things that I built up inside of myself to say I'm not ever willing to go through that. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to my husband, I need him. Like, I'm never this strong woman in our house. Like, that cape come off when I get to the door.
How do you turn that on and off though? Like, that's gotta be hard.
It ain't gotta be hard because we don't do business together.
Right, but you a boss in so many other aspects of your life, right?
Yeah, but let me tell you one thing about my husband. Like, one thing about my husband is Zoe has always been like this super low key, off the gram. Like the Zoe y'all know now is not the Zoe that I met 10 years ago, right? Off the gram.
He on the gram popping his shit now.
Yeah, he popping his stuff now. But that's only 3 years. Like, scroll down, you'll only see 3 years worth of content. So he was always this low key, you know, I got your back, whatever you need guy. And he was always good. Like, we don't share finances. We don't share bank accounts. Like, we always had our own thing going on and it was always good. But every time I needed him, he always came through. In 10 years, he's never needed me. Never, right? He never even asked me for nothing, right? So to me, it's not difficult because he's not my employee. He's not my business partner. Like, my stuff that happens in my business is over here. And I come home, I'm like, oh my God, babe, these employees or this payroll or this building. And he's going to guide me through it because also before we got involved, he had 10 retail stores. So the information that he knows, like, I would be dumb not to listen. I would be dumb to be married to someone that I don't trust leading me. So I think so many women nowadays, they get married out of comfort. They get married out of, oh, like, I've been with this man, I ain't trying to start over, or oh, this. And I always said, when me and Zoe started dating, I started dating for who I knew I was going to be, not for who I was at that moment. So women, for all the women that are watching, if you know the man sitting next to you on the other side of the bed at night wouldn't look good walking a red carpet with you, wouldn't look good accepting your star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, wouldn't look good if you scale your business for $1 million or 20 million or whatever it is, that's the time to let him go. What's another year? Because you know your potential on the inside. Like, I knew my potential on the inside. So I wasn't willing to date somebody that I wasn't willing to let lead me and lead me through our relationship.
I feel like that, especially in like younger dating, I feel like sometimes that get in the way too though. Like, you might see yourself for who you're going to be, but the person that you with still see you for who you are today, right? And sometimes that can bring a lot of conflict because like you see yourself as so, I don't know, I want to say high, but it could come off or it might look different to somebody else. Right. So
it's all about projection. Like, I'm never walking around my house like, oh, in a year from now, I'm going to be a billionaire. Like, I'm never doing that. Right. I think for me, it's all about us both having that understanding on where we plan to be in 5 years. Right. Even now, I'm telling my husband, like, babe, I know I'm working a lot right now, but give me 5 years. In 5 years, I'm selling my company. We're chilling, right? We're going to travel the world with our kids. So it has to take a little bit of his imagination to believe that that's true based on what I've already done in my business, right? So sometimes it's the other person's insecurity on where they are in their life that you may outgrow each other. But if we know, I'm going to give you a perfect example, right? When I lost my company, I was on an airbed. Zoe was coming back and forth. We was in a long distance relationship. So everybody like, oh, he was on the airbed. No, he lived in South Carolina. I wasn't willing to move to South Carolina. So I was on the airbed above my retail store figuring it out. He was coming back and forth. You know, he'll come on the weekends. And he said, I want to go look at some houses. I'm like, okay. So we all the way in Johns Creek, Alpharetta. We looking at $3 million, $5 million houses. Sir, I can barely make payroll on Saturday. Like, so I would literally fall asleep in the car every single time we went out and about. And I remember one time we were about to pull up at this house. He was like, yo, listen, I'm going to pull over real quick. You got to get up. I was like, well, he's like, why you don't like going in these houses? Like, I basically got to drag you in the house to show you the house. You're not inspired. You're not excited. I'm like, no, because I'm just trying to make payroll next week. Like, I can't even think. Get me an apartment. Like, you know what I'm saying? Let's figure that out, a condo or something. I can't think about a multi-million-dollar house when I'm trying to fight for my company back. He said, listen, that's not something for you to think about. I need you to be in the spirit. I need you to have the mindset of, if we were to get this house, you can actually live in it. Because most people don't get the blessings that they truly deserve because they don't even have the mindset to accept it. Yes. I was like, okay. So what did I do? Obviously, I want to be the good girlfriend. I walk in his house. I walk in the next house. I'm like, our house. I got the video still on my phone. I'm like, our house, showing them the house. It's like, a $500,000 house. So I'm like, okay, this our house, babe. Look at our living room, blah, blah, blah. Cool. 4, 5, 6 months later, we walk back to the house. He's like, remember this house? What you thought of this house? I was like, it was cool. It was great. Like, I love it. They did some changes. He's like, okay, cool. I turned the lock. I opened the door. It's flowers there. He bought me that house. Right? But what if I didn't have that mindset he wouldn't have wanted to buy me it, or us. It wasn't even a me thing because he was moving from South Carolina to Atlanta. It was an us thing, but he wouldn't have wanted to buy me that. And I feel like that's a lot of times how we move in our everyday life. Like, yeah, we say, oh, I want $1 million. Oh, I want to sell my company. Oh, I want to do this. I want this. I want that. But you're not even mentally accepting of it. Like, okay, cool. God drop $1 million in front of you. What you gonna do with it? You gonna help somebody else? Or you gonna go to Louis Vuitton and blow it up? You know what I'm saying? So I think that for me and my relationship, and everybody that's listening, you need to evaluate the relationship you in, because every relationship, it says ship at the end, meaning it's supposed to move you somewhere. Ain't no relationship supposed to keep you standing still. So if you in a love relationship, if you in a co-working relationship, if you in a partnership, y'all are supposed to be moving in that ship.
That's a fact. No, that's fact. It's so dope because especially I see your gram, all you post, I don't say all you post, but a lot of that shit be relationship shit. I'm like, damn, I was going to ask you damn, how important is that to showing that to the world though? Because you post it all the time, both of y'all, post each other all the time.
I think it's super important. I think for, again, me and Zoe, we both grew up with single moms. Zoe lost his father at a very young age. So after 8, he didn't have his father. So for me, I want other brown women to see what love looks like. And me and Zoe love is true on and off the gram. It ain't no, on Instagram, we gonna make this a skit. No, anybody that knows us, anybody that's around us, y'all will see genuine love. And how we were able to do that, not saying that it wasn't tough. We're 2 entrepreneurs building very big businesses in 2 different ways, right? The one thing that helped our relationship is every single month we have an evaluation date. Ladies, I know that it's very difficult, but Zoe actually introduced this to me. We need to have an evaluation date every single month, and we go on this date and we ask ourselves one question: how can I be a better wife? And he says, how can I be a better husband? And we literally listen to each other and we grow from that. There may be times where he's like, yo, you come home every night at 8:00. I need you home at 5. I'm like, okay, that's going to be challenging. We talk about it. But within that next 30 days before the next date, I try to fix those things. A lot of times we're not communicating in our relationships. So that same anger that you had in January leads to February, leads to March, now it's a new argument. That's piled on top of that. And then here we go, divorce. And we feel like now we're unequally yoked and we can't even have a normal conversation because you got so much built up baggage, built up anger. We let it go. After we talk and I say, okay, this is what I'm looking for. And then he say, this is what he looking for. We talk and we build up into the next 30 days, we work on that one thing or whatever those things are, and then we bring back the next day, oh, those are gone.
I feel I feel you. But it's not that easy, right? So
okay.
Like earlier, you said you got your feelings hurt by somebody that was close to you, right? But you said instead of hardening your heart, you had to continue to be a good person because that's how you get your blessings. I think in relationships, it's a similar way, right? You get your feelings hurt and you start to do things the opposite of how you want to do it. And what I mean by that is, for example, let's say just being able to speak your mind and communicate.
Okay.
Right? You talk to your partner and let's say they don't respond in the way that you want them to respond, or they don't respond in the way that fits you or that's your love language, right? So now you might feel like, man, I can't say nothing because every time I say something, I get rejected, so I'm going to stop saying it. And I feel like that happens a lot of times as well. I'm pretty sure y'all had to go through something like that.
Oh, certain. That's what I said. It took us a while to get to where we are now. Even again, I've never drank before. Zoe obviously has drank before, right? I've never done certain things. So my tolerance level is very low. So for me, I feel like there are certain deal breakers in our relationship that if I can't talk to you, if I can't communicate in this way, if you don't understand my love language, and we're not going to work. And for me, when we sat down on our first date and we agreed that we will be together, we said this was a forever thing. So when you are on a forever, if it's a forever thing and you know that you're on a team, you don't shoot the ball other ways, right? We shooting the same, we trying to hit the same target. So if we continue to try to hit the same target, we need to align on the way that we love each other, communicate with each other. So I feel like how you said, like, okay, I try to say something to my girl and she didn't take it a certain way. So then I stopped talking to her. Why? Why didn't you ever sit down with her and say, hey, what's your girl name?
Sade.
Hey, Sade, listen, I tried to speak to you the other day and you kind of, you was like, all right, whatever. And it really bothered me. How would you feel if I went and found another girl to speak intimately to? She'd be like, oh, wow, you and yeah, because I feel like if we're going to be in this relationship, we have to be able to communicate with each other. And that's an important thing for me, is communication. So we don't have to do it all the time. I'm not going to talk your head off every night. But when it's important to me, I need for you to understand that.
I'm not going to do that because I don't know how to. I never was taught that, right? I had a single mom growing up too. So like I don't even know what that looked like. All I know is you ain't listening to me. So now I'm upset. And I don't even know how to express myself to let you know that I'm upset.
So I feel like that's an issue within our culture, is that we don't have enough self-development. Like we're not figuring out ourselves within and to be the leaders. I remember, and I'm swaying the conversation, but I remember when I first got into entrepreneurship and I'm like, oh my God, all these people are leaving. I'm doing everything. I'm paying bills. I'm buying them cars. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. But what I didn't realize is like, I was a toxic leader. Like I'm at the office at 9 o'clock. You got to be here too. Like, I ain't eat lunch. Why you eating lunch? What do you mean? Like, ma'am, I'm about to die in your office. So when it comes to relationships, right? When it comes to relationships, you have to figure out and develop that. You have to be self-developed enough to know the areas in which you need to work
But let's go back there, right? You never drink. You never smoke. He drank though.
Yeah.
So just in that same example, right? Was it times where it's like, bro, like I'm not drinking. Why you drinking? Like I'm trying to get to it. Like I want to know how you was able to get through that.
There were times.
Yeah, all the good stuff. No,
for sure. There were times that if he was drinking, for example, right? If he was drinking,
to judge him because you don't drink.
Yeah, and I'm such, if you drink and you stumble one little step, you're drunk to me. Like my team hates drinking around me. You could like spill a glass a little bit. Oh, you're drunk. You need to go home. Like I'm super dramatic when it comes to alcohol because I've just never been that person. So there's times when, say, if my husband was drinking, right? This is so early on in our relationship. I would wait. Why would I argue with him then? It's going to only blow up, and he's drinking, right? So it's not going to be anything good that comes from it. So what I would do is I would wait until things calm down. And I'm going to tell him like, hey, I don't like how this situation was handled. And this is in order for us to get to our final goal, which we said we're going to be on. Also, can I speak? I was also married before.
Okay. I swear on everything. I'm like, this sound like some experience. Like,
this
sound like some shit that like this.
I was also married before.
Grown. Like this sound like
I was also married before,
okay,
and I feel like after that marriage, I was like, I'm never getting married again, and I had to really take a deep dive into myself and figure out what did I do wrong, what did I say wrong, and so for me, I'm so big on wanting to make sure this works, and he is too. That we don't spend so much time getting into the small fights. Yeah, because we know that it's going to take us off of our journey, right? So I think, again, when it comes back to your girl, you got to figure out what are the things that you need and be able to articulate that. When I started working, Zoe would be like, yo, like, relationship time? Like, what's up? I'm like, I mean, okay, when? Like, hold on, I got this paper. I got to do this. I got to do that. So it's like, no, if you know that we're on a journey together, you got to stop whatever.
You know, it's funny. I'm glad you said that because at first it sounds like, all right, okay, just sounds perfect. But like you said, you had to go through something. And the fortunate part about me and my relationship, my fiance, is that I'm glad that we was able to get through that early stage. Because like, I ain't never had like, that was the experience. I was 26. We was 26 when we got when I got where I was 26. So like all the mistakes we made together, right? But I'm fortunate that we made those mistakes, and then we coming out on. It's like a whole new relationship now.
Yeah.
It's like I like the stories you guys. I got the same stories, but even the old stories, we shared those old stories as well, right? Those toxic stories and things like that. And it's like I feel like we're so fortunate that we was able to come through that, because now it's like a whole different relationship.
But now I feel
way different.
Yeah, but now I feel like it starts now though. Like now that you know, okay, we made it through this really crazy toxic time. Oh my God, we was about to kill each other. I almost didn't stay with you, whatever. Now that you know that you made it through that, what's next, right? Like next has to come with a extreme amount of peace, extreme amount of clarity. For me, I cannot work in my business and be chaotic. My day-to-day be crazy. Like if you see how I even got here today, it was crazy working with clients, calls, all this stuff, and I can't do that and then go home to toxic. Like I can't go home to toxic if my work life is already crazy. I gotta go home to my husband like, yo, like you good, peaceful. And then when there is times that we have our issues, we bring them to the table and we lay them out, right? One thing that I felt like Black men especially need to discover is how to be emotionally available. Like, I think so many Black men go through a situation where they're just, nah, they told me not to cry. Oh, I lost my brother. I seen somebody get shot in front of me. Or, oh, I went through this, I went through that. Like, I can't be emotionally available. And that's the main thing that women are. This is why relationships nowadays are not working, because men can't be emotionally available. Like, for me, I remember when I lost my mother, and obviously my husband handles things much different than I do. Like, I feel like he don't care. Like, he just be like, okay, cool. Like, he doesn't, the stuff that hurts him, I would never know, or anyone would never know. He's just like, God got a different plan for us. And I'm like, okay. So it was.
Can we cry first?
Yes.
Like, nah, God is looking happy for a reason. I'm trying to tell you, it's okay.
Yes. He's like, your mom is in a better place. Just act like you can call her. I'm like, so for a moment of time, like there was a time when I felt like, well, if I can't talk to you, okay, well, I don't talk to anyone about it. You know what I'm saying? Because he's just not that person. And I don't think that it's just him. I think that there's other Black men that are listening to this podcast and that are like, yeah, I'm not emotionally available. If my girl started breaking down crying right now, I wouldn't know what to do. And it's like, we had to develop that in our relationship. Like, by me going through stuff and handling it the way that I handled it, we had to develop that. He had to develop that emotional availability to say like, okay, wow, let me get her some flowers. Oh, let me give her a hug. Or, hey, I don't really know what to say, but let me just ask her. And these are things that I was like, babe, if I'm going through something, just say, how can I help you? Because you may not have the answers, right? But just saying to your wife or your girl, babe, I don't know what to say right now, but how can I help you through this? She will then articulate how you can help, man. Just buy me some food, or, oh my God, I just need to get through this, or whatever. She'll be able to articulate that, and then a relationship would be more sustained. But the worst feeling is to feel like, dang, my man isn't emotionally available, but somebody else is, right? Because there will be guys that will take advantage of someone else's, like, they will be emotionally available at work, or they will be emotionally available at their career, or whatever. An investor will be oh, what's going on? Wow, call me if you need anything. Now that whole, it's a whole spiral effect. Like, for me, I completely blocked that out, because again, my blinders are on when it comes to the target. But we also had to navigate that, you know? But for me, I also had to understand where my husband came from. I also had to understand how he was built, and kind of not expect him to be emotionally available for every little thing. And I'm going to come to him when I really need that emotional availability.
No, facts. I think what helped me or us is definitely just worrying about ourselves more, right? Because I feel like, you know, it's so easy to fall into pointing a finger. Yep. It's so easy, right? And like, I'm the same way, you get what I'm saying? But as time went on, I was able to understand that this is what my woman wants, and I want to make her happy at all costs, even if that's not who I am, right? Yeah. I'm going to learn how to grow into that. But even with, it's just so much more complicated, even with the, you said, like, you know, just asking me how, because it's come a time where, like, my woman is human, so I'm pretty sure it's been times where she felt like damn, like I want somebody who just get it, right? You don't want nobody to just ask, say, hey, how can I help you? Because I could do that. Okay, babe, how can I be there for you today, right? I'm pretty sure there's been times where she just wants somebody who know how to be there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I think that we can't assume that the other person would know how to handle our wounds.
Not for sure.
Like our wounds come with so much trauma, come with so much everything comes with so much built up trauma. You wouldn't really know how to you don't know if I need stitches or a Band-Aid or some alcohol, whatever. You don't know what I actually need. So I think that it's okay for you to ask me, for you to say, babe, how can I help you? And for me to be able to articulate that. Now, if this problem arises again, right? If I lose one family member and then I lose another family member, I'm not going to ask you you shouldn't ask me how can you help me the same way that you helped me with the last time. You understand what I'm saying? Obviously you guys will start to become more, you'll start to know, like, oh, I know my girl needs this. My husband know, like he know when I need, my love language is gifts. So he know, like my birthday, don't do nothing for me the rest of the year, but on my birthday, show out, right? Like, and that's his too. His love language is gifts. He don't care if I say, oh, you look good, or oh, babe, you so strong. He don't care about that. Like, I ain't never got to say nothing about how amazing he is, but his love language is gifts. So coming home to this or a little whatever, it just does something to him. And knowing that about us is how we move naturally, you know?
No, that's dope. I like how y'all like show the black love on the gram. You know what I'm saying? I know for me, sometimes it be intimidating because, like, you know, like, people are human. And it's like you have people like, I don't know, Derek Jackson, right? And, like, I look at that situation like, damn, like, he really was out here, like, talking some bullshit and got caught being, like, a hypocrite. But honestly, if you want to be real, like, a lot of humans are like that. Not saying that, like, they're hypocrites, but they are like that in the fact that we're just human. So we make mistakes. What happened is when you're the person that point fingers and be judgmental, it's hard to get grace in the world because, like, how dare you be the pot that called the kettle black? Right?
Yes.
How dare you to be that person? So, like, I feel like that's a sense of, like, I don't know, sometimes I could see, I don't know, myself, I guess, have some insecurities there because, like, man, I don't want the world to see that I don't want the world to think I'm just an amazing person because I'm a human, I'm flawed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I make mistakes. We all make mistakes. So, like, I think that's important too. Do you find sometimes where you gotta, I don't know, since you show the world so much good that's going on that you gotta talk about where y'all come from?
I feel like absolutely. I think that my Instagram, I'm using it as a platform to motivate women that were me 15 years ago, right? That was that single girl that didn't think an ideal relationship, that didn't think I could get a guy that actually loved me on and off the gram, that didn't think that I could get a guy that only focused on me. I mean, like, I'm not going to say that this is forever, you know what I'm saying? Knock on wood. But in 10 years, me and Zoe know where we want to go. So we're not looking at anything else, right? Like, we just have committed and made that commitment to God for real. Like, if I cheat on my wife, I'm cheating on God. If I cheat on my husband, I'm cheating on God. So I don't even look, honestly. Like, I don't even look. And algorithm tells a lot. My husband Instagram, like, you could tell a lot by what they're studying. You go to my husband Instagram, it's all short-term rental properties or whatever. So I think when it comes to that perfection side, we are all humans. We are figuring it out every single day. That's why I try to use my Instagram to motivate people, because the person that I was, just scroll down, the person that I was when I started my business is not the person that I am today. The person I was when I first got with Zoe is not the person that I am today. We've evolved. So instead of just being braggy, oh, my husband bought me a Maybach, oh, my husband da-da-da, I try to tell them, like, y'all, we stuck it out. This man stuck with me for 6 months on an airbed when I couldn't get my hair done, when I couldn't get my nails done. So yes, I'm going to do him a conference. Yes, I'm a book Grant Cardone. Yes, he going to buy me a Maybach, because we've stuck it out through the hard, rough times that y'all also have seen. If you scroll back, we was looking scraggly. We didn't have it together. I remember when we used to go with our friends and we used to pull up in our Tesla, everybody else in a Rolls Royce, everybody else. And when I first got my Bentley, I'm like, oh my God, like, I got my first luxury car. I've showed all of that through the internet. So it's just now what goes viral that y'all see. But if you scroll 10 years back, It's all on the gram.
And that's what I really was asking. Like, do you feel that pressure to show them, like, yo, we was really struggling? Because I guess now when I look at the gram, like, if I just a short scroll, it just look like niggas is flexing. Like,
No.
like niggas is outside. We getting money. You niggas is broke.
No. And another thing about me is I feel like I can lose it at any time. So, like, a certain part of my being doesn't feel like this is real. And I kind of like that because even, like, I could walk in my garage and I could be like, like, we have a lot of cars, right? But I still hop in my Tesla every day. Not saying that the Tesla a bad car or whatever, but I'm just saying.
There you go again.
I'm not saying it, but I'm saying out of all the cars that I could choose to drive, I want to choose which I feel like driving, right? And, like, again, it's just that sense of not being there yet because I know that it's more for me to attain. And also, a couple of years ago, I was on the airbed above my retail store. So knowing that I can lose it all, like, if I don't live life the right way, I could lose it all. So don't get so cool and accustomed to all this materialistic stuff that you lose your soul or you lose your identity.
Facts.
Nah,
Next
like,
time,
I could care less about
when
that.
you use the car example, say like a Hyundai or something, like, because a Tesla, like, it's people out, like, I'm trying to get a Tesla now. That's like that's a car that I want. So you gotta say like a Hyundai.
But
or
I'm
like
saying,
like something that's really really
no,
bad.
I gotta be
'Cause
realistic.
a Tesla is like something we love a Tesla. Right
no,
now.
but also when you're looking at other people blessings, right, you're not willing to take on their lessons either. So you could say, oh, Skittlez, yeah, I want a Tesla, but you weren't willing to sleep on an airbed for 6 months to grow your company again. You could say, oh, I want a Maybach, but you're not willing for 2 years straight not to pay yourself and to pay every single person around you, right? You're not willing to go through the struggles that I went through to get the things that I have. So don't say, oh, you should have a Honda, because if I had a Honda, you wouldn't believe that I did everything that I did with the business that I currently have. If I pulled up in a Honda right now, y'all be like, oh, she don't got no multi-million, because that's just the way that our culture is set up.
For sure.
People have to see, and I want to feel it. When I get in my Maybach, I want to feel like, wow, all those tears in my Honda Tucson led to this. Right? I want to feel packing up my car, leaving Cleveland, Ohio, and packing up my car in my Honda Tucson with the driver, the rear view, the passenger back door not working, packing that car up and moving to Atlanta. Here I am 10 years later, and look what I've done. So it's not about me flaunting my materialistic things. It's about, one, me living a life that I'm actually proud of and allowing other women to see it through my work, not through my gifts. Not, y'all don't even see half the stuff. Like, I always tell people, scroll back. Me and Zoe been together 10 years. Our first trip was Dubai. Dubai wasn't even popular then, right? We just were saving up, figuring it out, making sure that we did things for each other. So don't ever compare somebody's first day to their 100th day, right? Don't ever compare your bank account to somebody else's bank account. You know what I'm saying? And don't ever compare my lifestyle to your budget.
That's hard. I like that. I like that.
No.
But I mean, for Instagram, it's easy though. It's so easy. You know what I'm saying? Like, people look at Instagram, they be like, I want that. You don't want the work to come with this, though.
You don't want the tears.
Like, niggas always want something. Like, you want something. Niggas just want something.
And I always look at it because, like, for me, even recently, like, I look at Instagram and I'm like, all these girls, like, all these people posting these Shopify notifications and screenshots of what their company doing, and they online all day. How are y'all doing this now? What is the strategy? Because I'm working. Like, I have a real staff. I have real payroll. I have real bills. I have real commitments that I have to be a part of. So sometimes I feel like when you look at other people's grass, you're looking at the fertilizer. You're looking at it's fake. It's not real, right? Your grass is the only thing that's real because you know what you're putting in it. Right. So you know how hard you had to pull the weeds out. You had to sow the soil. You had to dig a little deeper. You know your grass is beautiful because you went through some things. You looking at that person's grass over there and you don't even know it's fake.
Facts.
You don't even know she's sleeping with the lawn man. You don't even know that her brother is a scammer and then just put the grass together and made it look good for you to come on over here and ruin what you already have. So just stay focused on looking at your own grass.
That's a fact. Damn, that's crazy. Yo, you was so like, what is the main? I can't even ask you this because you came in here like, this the only thing you do? You came in here judging me, man.
I didn't. I just said
it's cool. I'm messing with you.
most people that have podcasts, they also have other things.
You judge me. It's cool.
But you said you did radio.
I did radio before this. I got fired from radio to do this.
Okay, so you did radio.
Yeah, I did it.
I said, what did you do before that? Nothing, just a podcast.
Oh, I thought
you did not do just a
I'm
podcast.
messing
So
with
you just came down, sat down with a mic and was like, I'm a podcast host.
Something like that.
No, you did radio.
Yeah, I did radio. But no, I'm joking. Yo, so like, what's the main thing though for you?
My marketing agency.
The marketing agency.
Yeah.
You was a manager at one point in time.
Yeah.
Too. How was that?
It was good. It's good. I think
You still doing it?
I manage people's brands.
Okay.
I don't manage talent. I think management is the most thankless job you will ever get into.
What you mean?
It's just you always see the star. You don't see the person shining the light. You know?
I seen a quote where you said something about you always have to like you stop, or not you stop, you wasn't really doing interviews because you was always having to be the person to talk for the person.
Yeah,
like
yeah. So oftentimes it's hard for you to develop your own identity and self without being like, oh, the manager want to be in all, like the Diddy, you know?
Yeah.
Like everybody laughed at Diddy when it comes to, being a manager because he's also a talent. So a lot of times in my industry as owning a marketing agency, it's like, do you want to be a marketer or you want to be the talent? Well, my story and what I've built allows me to be both. But I have no interest on being a star or being a celebrity or being famous. Like, I honestly just care about impact more than income. So I know that my story can change lives. And so that's why I could be the talent.
That's a great point. So that's what I wanted to talk to you about.
Yeah.
Because like, I'm looking, and when you said it, I was like, oh, interesting. I want to talk to her about this because I got this like love-hate relationship with managers, PR, like all of that. I'll tell you why. Because you get conversations, right? And the PR and the manager always say we're not to talk about. And most of the times we're not to talk about be the shit that really can get people to understand you.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, I was like, I'm gonna use this to talk to you about it.
Okay.
Why try to hide the artist's flaws or what they're going through instead of like really embrace it and really talking about the things that might go viral, the things you might have got canceled for? Why not talk about that, being transparent through it? Because I feel like when you be transparent through it, people can see that you're a real person.
For
and
sure.
you can grow through it.
Yeah, so I've never been that manager, right? I've never been the manager to be like, hide this or hide that. I actually want to accentuate everything that is you, because that's what your audience is going to organically tap into. So I want to put you in a platform. If you cry all the time, show that. If you're going through this, show that. Like every talent that I've managed, I took them on a journey, and people should see your journey going up. They shouldn't see your journey going down, and they shouldn't see your journey going straight, right? Yeah. I mean, of course there's going to be downs, but people should see like, okay, she started here, she went here. But when you say love-hate relationship with managers and PRs, I think that you need a manager and you need a PR when you get to a certain point, because they're speaking your name in rooms that you would never walk in. They're calling, like management.
No, you gotta understand where I'm coming from. I'm saying I got love because of the people I'm talking to.
Yeah,
There's
of
always
course.
the manager and the PR saying,
Don't say that.
About that. It's like, shut the fuck up. But,
Yeah.
like that's just me. But
Yeah.
I understand how important it is.
Yeah.
So like, I was just curious, like, were you able to give me some type of perspective that I might not have had?
Of course, yeah. I mean, like, again, when I say management is a thankless job, I think that there's, outside of the one deal that you close, there are hundreds of thousands of calls that went into that one deal that the artist now looks like the star because of, right? But there was a manager in the background calling, saying, no, get hung up on, telling their daughter, 1 second, hold on, I'm on the phone. Give me a minute. I'm on the phone. My client. Right? I know my daughter gonna grow up and be like, oh, I'm gonna say my client one more time. Like, there's so many sleepless nights. There's so much anxiety that comes with having someone trust you with their career, and you only get paid a small nickel out of a big pie, no matter if you were in charge of creating the pie, right? So imagine you spending 5 months of your life, right? Time away from your fiance, time away from your podcast.
Really?
Oh,
how
years.
long was it really?
Oh, years. 5 years.
Okay.
5 years. Yeah. Starting with Nothing. Nothing. An Instagram page, right? Yeah, so
Go ahead.
So I'm just saying, and this is not just,
why are we like this?
Again, I managed so many different clients and talents.
Go ahead.
But at the end of the day,
Because we on the same page. Go ahead. Do your thing.
at the end of the day, you're building the whole pie, right? You're crafting the pie. You're saying, okay, this is what you should do. You should do hair. You should do makeup. You should do this. You should do all these things. You're building the pie. Now you've built the pie. Now you're finding chefs. Now to create the pie. Now you're finding ingredients to put in the pie. And all the person at the end of the tunnel has to do is say, this is my pie, right? So oftentimes management, you go through so much behind the scenes for you not to get a thank you, or for you not to say, for no one to say, oh, wow, I appreciate you getting me to this point. I got it from now. Or I appreciate you in all that you've done for me, the time that you spent away from your family, the time that you committed to me when I had nothing, the time that you committed to me when I didn't have money, the 2 years that you committed for free and involved your whole team and paid your whole team, the leases that you took out for me. Like, I'm just saying that there is a lot, especially when you care for somebody and you want to see that person win genuinely, there are going to be ups and downs. I'm not perfect, right? No one is perfect. No relationship is perfect. But if you genuinely brought a person from here to there and opened doors for them that other people would close, I would just continue to thank them no matter what the relationship, what happened in that relationship. So, and this is not just for me, it's for every manager, it's for every PR, everybody that is in the industry behind the scenes, that you're shining the light on somebody that ultimately without your light wouldn't even be lit. So it's a thankless job.
I do want to get a little like transparent, I guess, right?
Okay.
You wait, but you in court right now?
No, I'm not in court. No.
Oh, so you can talk about whatever now.
Yeah, I can talk about whatever.
Okay, cool.
I'm probably not going to talk about whatever. But
I was pretty nice with this. I'm pretty nice though. Okay. I asked questions and shit.
Yeah, no, I'm not in court.
No. So outside of, before we even get to the, we have to talk about the business. I'm really curious to know, like, dealing with like a big talent, right? And like you said, like, you put so much time in it, but on the back end, you can't really, I don't say you can't, it's hard to speak on it because it would seem like you're a hater. Because a lot of times the person that's most successful or looks the most successful always going to outshine the other people around.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
So their word seems law.
Yes.
Like, does that ever get frustrating to even talk about it, to even want to speak your piece? Because a lot of times, like, your truth is your truth.
Yeah, I feel like, again, going back to that same thing is like, I went through that to get to where I am now, right? Like, without going through being a manager and being super dedicated and being, going through everything that I went through in that situation, I wouldn't have had that same focus, that same ingenuity, that same hustle for my own business. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like some things
that's that hindsight bias, though. No, hold up. No.
But some things that you go through, it's like it doesn't even need to be said for real.
Nah, that's that hindsight bias. It's easy to say that.
Okay.
Because you came through it.
Yeah.
But that's some feelings. That's some dark times.
Of course.
I'm talking about those times.
Yeah.
Not coming through it and it's like, yo, man, I had to go through this. God just blessed me. We get that.
No, I'm not saying that either.
Some real hard times where it was like, man, you probably shed some tears.
Of course. I shed a lot of tears in all of the relationships that I've went through, right? It just depends on how committed I was to that particular client, how much business I lost, how much days I spent working on the project. If you behind the scenes and you commit a month of your life, you're going to be upset when it, happens or disappears or whatever it happens, right? So for me, yeah, absolutely. There's emotions that you go through, but what you going to do? You going to sit on it? And like, what's the point? At the end of the day, the people that know me, the people that see my work know what I did and the commitment that I made to the project when I was on it. And y'all see, like, it's just, you can use Google, you can use the internet to see, like, okay, when Skittlez is involved, this is moving. When Skittlez is involved, this is happening.
So push back a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's people that know you.
Yeah.
People that don't know you, we can't say they can just Google because, like,
Because you won't know.
Let's
you won't
have a
know.
conversation. If I was to Google you, right, and I don't know your business, right, I could possibly be like, nah, I don't want to be a part of that because she gonna fuck what I got going up, right? If I don't know you, and that could fuck up future business.
But see, that's the part. This is the part of being a manager that people don't talk about. I could have put this deal in front of you, right? You could then go ask your friend that has never done a deal before, what should I do to promote this, or what should I do? Your friend give you some messed up advice. You show up on the internet doing the wrong thing, and now I'm blamed because I'm the manager, right? I cannot manage everything my client says. I cannot manage everything my client does. That person is still a human at the end of the day. So if they involve somebody else in a business deal, it's going to happen. Like, I can't, but now I take the blame because, I'm the manager. No, I'm just the only one vocally fighting for you. No, I'm just the only one that's publicly attached to your business dealings. So, I mean, again, it just goes back to why I feel like management is a thankless job, because when things are going good, managers don't get the praise. But when they go bad, it's the manager's fault. Oh, you need a new publicist. No, you went on that stage and said what you wanted to say. I told you exactly what to say. I crafted the message for hours, and you went on the stage and said something totally different. So now whose fault is it? Is it the talent fault, or is it the team fault?
All right, cool. I'm gonna come out another play from it, right? Because I'm all about progression. Do you think that, like, given everything that happened, that you could, like, come out, shake hands, and, like, hug it out?
100%. Yeah. I think that one thing you're talking about is one particular scenario, and it didn't happen like that. Like, after that whole scenario, we was chilling, like, in Dubai, like, in Maldives, hanging out. So it didn't, the way...
Wait, what you talking about now?
I just feel like you're talking about a certain situation.
I'm talking about B. Simone. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So... What were you talking about?
Yeah, I'm talking about...
Okay, cool. So I'm asking, could y'all hug it out? That's what I'm saying.
Of course. That's my girl. Okay. I'm so proud of her. I love everything that she's doing. I think that she's on an amazing journey, an amazing path. And I feel like a lot of things that she is doing and has done was guided, that it took us working together for her to get to a certain place in her career where she can do confidently what she's doing now. But I think that she's doing amazing. And I think... at the end of the day, I just feel like there are certain ways to handle relationships or quote unquote fallouts, but there was no fallout in our situation. But with any manager, yes, I salute her. I love what she's doing, and I wish her, the best. And if you're speaking on that, yes, of course, I will hug her any day.
Okay. But it's funny, like, even speaking of that, it's another perspective in this, like, just taking the fall for things, right? That could get you in better rooms. So it's an example with Steve Harvey, right? It was years ago. Everybody thought that, like, he messed up the pageant name, right? And it didn't come out until I don't think he came right out with it. It took him a while to come out and said, yo, basically what happened was they messed up behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And I thought it was dope that he never really mentioned the fuck up. He took the heat for it.
Yeah.
So, like, if you see things like that, that could potentially get you in bigger rooms, right? Or bigger clients, because they see that, this is somebody that will really ride for me. Let me work with them.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that it's, at the end of the day, everybody make mistakes. Some mistakes are just more public, right? Like, there is a girl right now with a $300 business, and she messing up everybody's orders, right? Nobody knows because no one really knows her, but her customers are affected by that. But when you are scaling and when you get a larger audience, you now have to be more careful about the things that you put out and how you put them out, because now you have more eyes and more haters and more people that want to see you ideally fail, right? So, I think that taking accountability in the role that you played, especially me as a manager, in that it's just so many factors that I think everybody can't just blame the manager. Everybody just can't blame the team. You got to say, this item went through this hand to this hand to this hand to this hand to this hand. How quickly did the product come out? What was the client's, interaction in regards to the product? So it can't just be, it's the manager's fault all the time. Everybody in the process has to take accountability for that. And then everybody business, ultimately, if something goes wrong, is going to get hurt in that situation as well. So for me, I this is why I'm not, I think that situation kind of made me move different with clients, because again, once you build up a client or you work with a client for so long, people take their highlight reel and their downfalls as your fault, which you don't know what I went through behind the scenes to navigate this situation or to even open up doors for half the clients. But again, like it's like if you have a hairstylist and you see this hairstylist with this person all the time, and then that client choose to go out of town and use a different hairstylist and go on the red carpet, who they gonna tag? Who they gonna tear apart? They're gonna tear apart the most popular hairstyles that's always seen with them. But they not saying, oh, hey, superstar, why you went and used this other person out of town? Now you tearing down that person's business because they're just the person behind the scenes. You get what I'm saying?
And that's kind of like, that's funny. Like we were talking about, like people, they want your success, but they don't want what come with it.
Yeah,
it's crazy because like even now I talked to a lot of like high profile people when we talk about just not the hardships of having to make mistakes in front of the world.
Oh yeah,
right?
for
Like
sure.
when you dealing with people of like a huge magnitude, now your mistakes is going to be under a microscope, right? But when I might be dealing with somebody that got 50,000 followers, and I can afford to make a mistake, right? And I feel like that's a part of the success that a lot of people don't see.
And I think another thing is that most talent don't even know that they have the influence that you guys believe that they have. So I work with clients all day that have millions of followers and no money, and millions of followers and they have money, and they don't even really believe that their one post could make the damage or cause the heartbreak or cause the turmoil in people's lives, that they think they like, oh, I was just saying this. I was just expressing myself. I didn't know that it was going to lead to all of this. But then it becomes a manager that has to piece the puzzle back together, that has to call and say, please don't cancel this deal with my client. She made a mistake, or this person made a mistake. Please still go through with this factory. Please still go through. You get what I'm saying? The client not over there making them calls, but the client freely spoke out against or whatever they felt, and then it went against them, and then it's like the team that's behind them is there doing the repair work.
No, that's crazy, bro. It's a lot.
You're going to need a manager soon.
Oh, no, I'm yeah, for sure, I'm with that. I'm looking for management.
Yeah, you're going to need a manager.
Yeah, I'm trying to get management.
Yeah.
I had management, it was my, like, homies.
No.
What?
I feel like that's not going to work.
That's not true.
Why?
LeBron James.
That's different.
See, now you don't believe in me.
That is totally different. First of all,
I take everything personal.
That is totally different. What doors did your homeboys open up for you that you felt like, just
LeBron James' homies ain't really opened up no doors for him. He opened up doors for them. Coming out of high school,
we not gonna talk about that. We not gonna talk about that.
I got it wrong?
Yes.
So what happened? Why we can't talk about it?
I mean, I'm saying they had things moving. I'm from Cleveland, right? So they had stuff moving. Like Rich and them had a record label. He was doing stuff. It wasn't just like, oh, let me just pick any of one of my homeboys.
For sure.
Like he had business sense. He knew how to operate. He knew how to run finance. He knew how to handle contracts, right? He had things going more than your average homeboy,
it wasn't
right?
just my homeboys.
Okay. The way you said it was just
it wasn't like just my homeboy from the hood. Like, yo,
yeah, that's what you said. Like that's the emotion that it. To me, if you need a manager that is one going to fight harder for you than you will fight for yourself. Secondly, you need a manager that is going to open up doors for you that you wouldn't be able to open yourself. Meaning they may not have the relationships or connections right now, but they will go into every room to get that connection because they know that it's going to benefit your career.
So basically, you saying you still don't management?
No, I don't do management. No, I don't do management.
You can't like have like an assistant that you just
no. I have a marketing agency. No, we just scale brands. That's it.
That's crazy. How can somebody get their brand scaled? Connecting with you.
Yeah, definitely. So you can go to theicinagency.com, tell them Jay Hill sent you, and I'm gonna make sure you're good. But no, yeah, so we work with all clients, from a la carte, meaning I have no budget, to premium, meaning I got a little bit of money, all the way to elite, meaning I have a very large budget to grow and scale my brand. And we work with clients all across the board. You can go to my page. You can see what I do.
Yeah, you're not.
I'm not really good at like
It's cool. I'm gonna help you out. It's
Okay,
cool.
good.
Because you ain't gonna about to skate through this like that, right? Every time I get like a big entrepreneur up here, I always pick that brain.
Okay.
Because we need some free game
Okay, cool.
in that round too.
Let's
So,
go.
look. All right, so look, if I ain't have the money to hire nobody, right?
Yep.
Or I wanted to do it myself,
Yes.
what's 3 pieces of game that you could give anybody, right? That they probably would have to pay for.
Yes. So the first thing I would say is branding comes first, right? If you don't have a good brand, no one is going to buy it.
How do I brand myself?
Okay, so for example, let me find something. Dang, you ain't got nothing around here that's not
J-Ho
branded.
Podcast, what you mean?
No, I'm saying like I'm trying to give you an example. Okay, example. This is my liquor company, right? I just started it, and I don't really got a lot of money, so this is my product. Just imagine it's a little bit of liquor in there. Okay, Jay, here, you my homeboy. Taste this drink, right? You like it. Okay, can you share it with 5 of your other friends? This is all the packaging I got. This is what I got. This is the branding that I got. This is the website that I got. You most likely would not share it because you would be embarrassed about how your friend branded their company, right? But what if I came to you with this packaging? I was like, yo, I invested a little bit in myself. I got some labels done. I went on Canva. I took a Canva course, right? Canva's free. I went on YouTube, studied like 6 hours, and took a Canva course, and I developed professional
What can I
labels.
study on YouTube?
Huh?
What can I study on YouTube?
Canva. How to use Canva.
Okay.
How to design on Canva. How to use Fiverr. Sorry.
Is there any particular words? We need real game.
Just Google how to design on Canva.
Okay.
And you will
How to
figure
design
it
a
out.
flyer, how to design a liquor bottle.
Labels,
Cool, all right. bet.
packaging,
Cool.
whatever you have, right?
Okay.
So now I got proper packaging, a proper logo,
Mm-hmm.
and now I'm going to say, hey, Jay, this is my alcohol company. This is my liquor company. Can you share it with a couple of your influencers? What would you say if it looked like this?
Cool.
You would say,
I don't know. I don't know what I would say. If it's my homie, I'm gonna just share. Honestly, if it's I'm the wrong person to ask. If it's my homie, I'm gonna share that or that. Me. I am. Because I'm a real friend.
okay, I'm going to send you something terrible to share tonight, and we're going to see if you share it.
All right.
No, no, because my auntie make food, and her food tastes good.
Your auntie under the bus.
No,
like
I'm
that.
saying her food tastes good, but her pictures don't look the best. So I'm going to send it to you because you said, I'm bringing a plate up here, and then I'm going to tell you to share it with your audience because our Instagram is not where it needs to be.
Okay.
But I just
what
want
you
to see that your audience is going to trust you to share my auntie food despite how it looks. People buy with their eyes. So, no, you're not going to be like, yeah, I support your company. I'm going to share it with no packaging, with no branding, right? So even if you can craft up your logo, craft up your packaging, craft up your labeling, and then you get it to somebody, they're going to believe in it whether you have followers or not. So the first thing is having good branding, right? Whether you have to design it yourself, start where you at, cool. The second thing is now you got to market it. Now you got to create that fun content. It could be informational, it could be inspirational, it could be transformational, it could be motivational, or it can be engaging.
Out of the 5, what's the top one?
All of them matter. All of them matter. And I could do it in every way, right? So with this bottle. Okay, informational. Hey guys, if you want to get drunk in 2 minutes or less, this is the alcohol for you. This is the lit girls, right? Like, that's informational, telling them about information about how we're going to get this product sold. Inspirational is, y'all, listen, why this got to be here? I need something else. But inspirational, this is hard because obviously I never drank, but okay, inspirational could be, I was going through a really hard time in my life and I was reverting to all these different alcohol companies and, I found out that it really brought clarity and I became an entrepreneur because of that time of my life. And so I started this company, right? So it could be inspirational, inspiring them to do something. Then it could be transformational. How was your life before? And how was your life after? This is a very bad example, but how was your life before something and how was your life after? Weight loss, right? You lost working out, your podcast, everything could be transformational. But before you started in here, you was probably in the living room with a mic. That's transformational, right?
No, for real, I was.
Motivational
On
is
the lunch table.
Exactly. So
No
that's
cap.
transformation. Seeing people like, yo, he inspired me because I seen his transformation. The next thing could be motivational, giving them a motivational message around your product. And then engaging is whatever is a trending reel on Instagram, grab a ring light, start dancing, do the little dances, create something that's engaging, show all your friends, different friends on how they drink liquor. I'm gonna get my one friend that's stumbling in. I'm gonna get my one friend that try to act not drunk, right? I'm gonna get my one friend. So at the end of the day, as long as you have really good branding and then you have marketing, it's going to get to your consumer. By the time you have really good marketing, you're going to be making money to invest in a marketing agency or in a consulting firm or in someone that can actually take you to the next level. Because yeah, you got to where you are with this first label, but now you need to go up, right? So now we need to rebrand you. So yeah.
Okay, branding is first.
Branding is first, marketing is last.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you work with my agency.
Nah, but I don't got it right now. You know what I'm saying? Like
You got it.
No, I'm trying to figure out how can I get your average person that can't get in touch with you.
Yes.
Like
But all of my clients, like if you go to the icingagency.com, you will see that we work with people for less than $300. Like you can get your labels, you can get your product labels, you can get your social media templates, you can get a social media rebrand. So I'm not out here like, oh, I'm all high and mighty. I only work with A-list clients.
Well, why would I pay you $300 and go on Canva and do that shit myself?
I mean, it might look like Canva too. It might also not sell because you think it looks good, but your audience thinks it looks bad. And there's so many competitors that actually paid to get it done right that they're bypassing you in the marketplace. So a lot of times people don't invest in themselves and they say, oh, you don't believe in me. No, you didn't believe in yourself because you didn't invest in yourself and it shows. So how do you want your customer to invest in your product when you didn't invest in your product?
But I don't got it to invest. You know what I'm saying? $300 is a lot.
So when I tell people that don't have it to invest, you also don't have it to go out every weekend. You also don't have it to buy Ubers when you could have asked your cousin to carpool with you. You also don't have it to buy alcohol. You also don't have it to shop in the Louis Vuitton store, whether you're buying it authentic or non-authentic. You also don't have it. So the best investment you're going to make is in yourself. It's not in my company. You can hire any marketing agency. You can hire any branding firm to do it, but you got to hire somebody to do it because you're not skilled at doing that. It's going to be things that you're really, really great at, and someone else can have a vision for your line or for yourself or for your business and blow it up. But you could actually stay stuck where you are, making what you make, with your company looking like how it looked because you didn't invest in yourself.
That's a fact. Do you think being successful is like a mindset? Because like that's you saying, like everything you're saying for me is like it makes sense. Like I get it, but it's like some people who really just don't get it though.
I mean, I think success is a mindset, but I also think that if we change our mindset to believe in ourselves and our brands or our businesses, the people that are interested in going that way, because I also don't believe everybody is meant to be an entrepreneur as well. So I think for those people that are interested in going that way, if you invest in yourself and you invest in your brand more than you invest in other brands, then it's going to pay off. But most people don't have the mindset to do that. They're quicker to walk into Louis Vuitton and buy someone else's grandfather's name than to invest in their own grandfather's name.
No, facts. Yo, so wait, hold up. Branding comes first, marketing comes
last.
How do you, and this is a real question, this is a genuine question for me. How do you not get stuck in branding? Because like everything you said was branding, right? Like, and I agree with it. But sometimes do you see people get like stuck in branding? What I mean by that is like, let's give a real example, right? I did everything I could possibly do to make sure my podcast look good. Everything you said about a liquor bottle, I literally did that with my podcast, right? I'm like, man, in order to get good people on here, I got to make them look good, right? In order to make them look good, I got to get these type of cameras I want to share it so they can want to share it. So if they look good, they saying something good, they're going to want to share it. Branding, right? But then it's kind of, sometimes you get lost in that. Like, all right, okay, they look good. Now I want them to look even better. Or like, when do you stop and be like, all right, marketing?
Yeah, the first thing I think is like you brand first, no matter what it looks like. Like you brand, like, okay, I need my logo. I need to first develop my color palette. Is my branding blue? Is my branding yellow? For example, y'all don't think like multi-million-dollar brands, you're never going to walk into a yellow Target or you're not going to walk into a pink McDonald's because they are branding. They know that this arch, right, is going to always be yellow. It's going to always be red and yellow. So no matter if our customers are young or old, they're going to see that and know that it's us.
But sometimes it takes you time to even know that that's your brand, because sometimes, I don't know, sometimes you just not there yet, right?
But I don't think I think you should start there. I think you should start there because that's what other people are going to take you serious. You got to start with that one brand. It ain't got to be the best logo, right? Like my first logo was terrible. I think I paid like $150 for it. And then I grew to hire an illustrator to actually design me a logo, like handwritten font, so that I know that, like Nike sold their logo, I don't know, the employee was working for them, made what, $150 or something like that. Then she went and sued them for their logo. But because they own the rights to it, she only won like, what, $15,000 or something like that. But how much money has that checkmark made? Right. So if you know from the beginning what your branding is going to look like, you can evolve it. It's going to evolve. Like, look at every $1 million, $1 billion company. They have evolved, but they started with something at least. So don't get stuck into the branding until it monetized. So start with the branding. Make sure it looks good. Ask a couple of friends that you trust, not your friends that's going to be like, yes, it looks good, because they haven't seen you do anything. So they're going to tell you anything to get you to do something, right? So start with your friends that have a little bit going on and that are going to tell you the real. Like, girl, no, I'm not going to buy that, right? Look at your competitor and say, okay, if I'm walking in these streets and I have makeup and I'm saying, I want to be as good as MAC, I want to be as good as Kylie Cosmetics, you got to look at their branding and see what they're doing. Even if you're not on that level, you can make a ring light. You can get a slab of marble from Home Depot, put it on your floor, make it look. You ain't got to take pictures on the carpet, right? So that's branding. It's how quality it looks. Branding is knowing that you can get the same dress at a flea market and the same dress at Saks, right? Branding is your mindset saying, I'm not paying them $1,000. It's in there. Right? Whereas when Saks will say, oh, it's $1,000. Oh yeah, give that to me. Give me, some champagne. That's branding. Branding is the articulation in someone's mindset of how much someone is willing to spend, how much time someone is willing to spend by just looking at your brand.
But how do you know when it's enough though? So like, for example,
I think you know when it's enough when your audience starts to be attracted to your product, and then you start marketing. You're going to get it in front of more people. You're going to start making money. And then at one point in time, you're going to be like, you know what, dang, I've been using this branding for a little bit. Let me do a rebrand.
Okay.
And I think when you finally get the audience that you've always desired is when you kind of go from branding to marketing.
That's still hard. I don't know.
Really?
Because when that's like you getting the amount of money that you desire. That's hard to gauge.
No, that's not difficult, right? Like, for example, when you started your podcast, you said, I got to brand it in this way to attract this type of person, right? So when you attracted that person, you knew that your branding was working. If your branding wouldn't have worked, because they wouldn't have been here, you still would be doing solo casts.
But just like branding, let's say I was comparing it to money, right? I wanted $1,000. When I get $1,000, like, shit, if I could just put this up or put it into this, I can get 10,000. But as soon as you get 10, it's never enough. So just like you said, like, it's like,
but that's marketing at that point. Once you get that first $1,000, it should now go to building awareness about your brand. The branding is already good. Now we just need to get the awareness out there. I need to go and DM as many. When I look at my podcast page, I'm like, it's solid. Like, it looks good. It looks quality. It don't look like they come and film in my closet. So I know that they gonna rock with me. Once I get them in there, now I just got to get more people to rock with me. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, facts. I get it. No, it's a lot of game, man. I'm fucking with you, man. I like what you got going on for sure. I seen you be doing like conferences, like woman.
Yeah, I do a lot of conferences for women.
It's like women empowerment.
Yeah, I don't say empowerment because I feel like a lot of women go to women empowerment conferences and leave with no power. So I don't want to call it a women empowerment conference because I'm not empowering them. I'm teaching them. I'm bringing them experts that will teach them how to do it, because you can leave and be motivated, right? A lot of people go to church and they're like, oh, like, I'm motivated from this sermon, and get out walk out the door and do the exact same thing.
Right.
So when you come to my conference, I'm going to give you strategy, information that will, when you walk out the door, you can immediately implement. So I don't just say women empowerment.
You feel like that was like a fad at one point? Like the whole women empowerment movement is like...
Yeah, because it's like women empowerment, sometimes a lot of the women empowerment people, it can be a marketing strategy and it can really be mean girls. So how you teaching a bunch of women and trying to empower them when you mean for real? When you really don't connect with women for real behind the scenes. Like, my record speaks for itself, you know? Like, there are so many women that have worked with me or that have came into my platform and their lives have been changed from just the information, free information. You know what I'm saying? So I think when it comes to women empowerment, it should be something that you're doing from your heart. Everything that I do for women is because I remember that I didn't have nobody when I first started. Every information, my community Girl Mob is $49.99. You can get in there, you can get over 90 classes, you can get 4 live classes. You know what I'm saying? Like, so to me, it's not about making money. It's about really, are you impacting people, or are you just living from the income from people?
So it's not about making money?
It's with that particular platform.
Because, I mean...
Oh, yeah. What, my conference?
Yeah.
I don't know, in September, I think.
Give 10 away right now then if it ain't about making money.
Oh, for sure. DM Girl Mob. 10 people come to Elevate Conference on me. No problem. Anybody that has ever followed Girl Mob, anybody that has ever followed me, y'all know I give from my heart. Like...
You said it.
I'm not... Yeah, for sure. In August or September. I haven't made the date yet.
You said it.
But for sure.
I'm gonna clip this up. What they got to do?
DM Girl Mob. DM Girl Mob. I could care less. Like, no, for real. Like, let me tell you just a little bit about me. One thing about me is, like, I feel like when I got to a certain place in my life and I ended up on that airbed, I made a promise to God. I said, God, if you get me back on top, I promise I will tell everybody about you and what you did for me, right? So for me, it's money gonna come. Money come to me so much, I be turning money away. My staff be losing their minds when a client could sit across from me and be like, I have a budget for $50,000, and I'll be like, oh no, I'm okay. Because my heart doesn't move with your product or your integrity, and I'm going to be thinking about it at night. I'm going to have my whole team working on this for months. You know what I'm saying? So I got to really love what you do. I got to really believe in what you do. It ain't about the money for me. Money can bring a lot of headaches. You accept any money, you can have a whole lot of headaches. You can have a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety that could come with money. So I feel like if I lead in the way that God wants me to lead, the money gonna come. And the money has came. I've never marketed. I, as a marketer, I've never ran ads for my marketing company. The clients just show up from the work that I've done.
Talking, man, you never ran your own ad. See, man,
you don't gotta run ads when you're really, really, really good and your referrals speak for you. Okay. Yeah. And another thing is, like, when you want to make a certain amount of money, you can solve richer people problems. So once you develop your skill, I started my marketing agency with people paying me like $1,000 a month, $5,000 a month, right? I built that skill. I built those relationships. I built my team of the best creatives in the world, I would say. And then we were able to take on larger clients. So to me, it's not about all of the clients that I can bring in. It's about, let me work with 8 clients and blow them up every month. So.
I fuck with it. I love what you got going on, man. It's funny because, like, you see the profile and it's like, you know, you probably see things that come with people probably thinking, like, I don't know, even with the woman empowerment, like, people have been saying that since COVID.
Yeah.
Probably not about you, but, like, you see people like.
Oh, all the time. I never get offended. I could care less.
So you get it too?
Oh, I mean, I see people tagging like, oh, the women empowerment is a scam, da-da-da-da.
That shit don't fuck with you?
At all. When you know what you're doing on this earth, I mean, college is a scam, and I also got a doctorate. So
you got a point.
You take it for what people say college is a scam, and there's also people winning from their degree. You get what I'm saying? So you take it for what it is you want to take it with. The only people that's going to feel like it's a scam is the people that are scamming.
I feel like I've honestly, like, just being in this space, because I've been doing like a few entrepreneurs that's on like high levels, and I feel like I've probably came across scammer once every single time with every single one of them. I'm talking about like the biggest ones.
What do
and
you?
They not scamming.
Okay, all right. And they not skimming?
Yeah, like they really, like for example, Nehemiah Davis, one of the biggest. He's one of the biggest entrepreneurs. I mean, real testimonies. Like niggas know he's really getting to it, and I'm pretty sure you'll see probably one scammer comment somewhere.
But I think so this is what drives.
You don't know no better.
This is what drives me insane about the word scam. I think scam could mean one unhappy customer.
That's true.
I think scam could mean one unhappy customer that didn't show up, didn't do what they were supposed to do with the information, didn't use the information to do. Because, like, you go to college, right? I went to college a lot. And at the end of the day, I could be like, dang, I ain't really do nothing with my merchandising degree. I ain't really do nothing with my business. Like, I ain't really do nothing with these degrees, right? Is it a scam, or did I not do anything with the information that I paid for, right? Now, I do believe that there are people out here that are scammers and that are intentionally creating products and creating awareness to get money from people with ill intent. So I think that that's the difference. I think when people say, oh, I've been scammed, I really want to know the depth of it. Like, okay, did they show up? Did they do did they finish their scope of work? Because I mean, for me, owning a marketing agency, I can say that there are clients that be like, oh, I invested in this. You didn't show up to the shoot. You didn't do none of the posting. You didn't do anything that we prepared. I have a whole drive. And like, I'm a receipt girl. Okay. I keep every single receipt. But at the end of the day, did you really do what you said that you hired me for? Right. And then secondly, I feel like sometimes people hire a company for other people's results. And that's not real. Like, you can't say, oh, I'm gonna go to college because my homeboy, he finished college in 2 years and he's killing it in his world. It's not like that. But when you come to a marketing agency or when you come to a PR company, you like, oh, I see what you did for this person, do it for me. No, you have different skills. You're different. You're in a different place in your life. You have a whole different business model. The relationships that I crafted for this person can't be crafted for you. Like, bro, it's like, different.
Nah. You hitting it on the money, especially like, I ain't gonna lie, like before I came to Atlanta, I couldn't fathom none of this. I didn't even understand it, right? So like, I'm just being straight up with you, and I was hood probably 15, 20 years ago, like, right? So even before I came to Atlanta, I wasn't a hood nigga. I was educated, but I still couldn't understand the verbiage that people like Neo was saying, or like all these big entrepreneurs that I'm seeing. I couldn't understand it, so I probably wouldn't even be able to, like, I'm like, I ain't fucking with that.
Yeah.
Until you really sit down with them, or you sit down with people who work with them, you like, oh nah, this really, oh, when they say get in the room is real, like that matters. And a lot of times it's I feel like it's less people who really being successful in those rooms than it are the people who are actually in those rooms. So it's hard to find.
It is. And I think that for me, we as entrepreneurs, and which is why I have Girl Mob, right? We as entrepreneurs have to give so much to build that trust for our audience to understand, like, I could start with her here. I could start with her at $49.99. And if I get all of this information and I grow my business, then I could work with her agency, or then I could do this, or then I could do that. But people just want to jump off the ladder and start right here and say, oh, I want those results that you did for this person. It's like, wait, I worked with that person for 7 years. I worked with that person for 5 years. I worked with that person for a year to get them to this point that you see them publicly. You get what I'm saying? Like, there was a lot of non-public moments, non-public doubt, non-public, you know what I'm saying, losses that we took behind the scenes before they became a public icon. So I think, it's both of us, both the entrepreneur and the person doing the work. And then secondly, is like, one thing that bothers me really, really bad is when our culture dictates something by how much it costs, right? Like, if you have a budget, right, you want a car. You know what your budget is. You know your budget is $10,000, $2,000, $50,000, you know. But at the end of the day, your budget is going to dictate which car you get. You're going to get a used Honda from Craigslist. You're going to get a Honda off the lot. You're going to get a Lexus. You're going to get a a Maybach, right? You know what your budget is going to get you. I feel like when people invest in their business, they don't want to invest because they don't know what their business is going to get them. They don't trust that, oh, if I invest in my business, it can actually grow. It can actually scale if I put it in front of the right people. So then when a lot of people may look at my company and they're like, wait, somebody paid her $100,000 a month. Yeah, they pay me $100,000 a month because I know what I'm doing. And they were able to do that for a year because I was able to get them results. So imagine if they pay me $100K a month, what results did I bring them back for them to keep me on board, right? But people say, oh, I was scammed because of this and this and that. But what are you doing?
That's what I was going to say. Because even like I was talking to Neo and he was cause like he got different I don't know, mentorship,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And I asked him about that, like, so like, what if somebody saved up $75,000 to pay you and shit? And he was basically saying like, you gotta be able to like back that, right? You can't just come and pay me this amount of money and you not able to put in the work that come behind it, because with that is going to be some instructions. You gotta do this, and if you can't do that, then you probably shouldn't have never even spent that from the jump.
Yeah.
So like,
but I think we and Neo is my guy. Like I love everything that Neo is doing. Neo has changed so many people's lives. Let's just get that out here clear, right? But I think we as entrepreneurs have to also be careful with whose money we take, right? In the beginning, when I started my agency, I truly believed that I could help anyone because I have the strategies, I have the network, I have the relationships. I believe that I could help anyone, but are they willing to be helped? Right? If I get you in a room, you're like, oh, I just want to be in this room. If you get me in this room, I'm gonna do everything. I could literally get you in a room, sit you next to the person you always wanted to meet, and you don't say 5 words. Bro, and I've literally sat with clients and said, okay, when you get in this room, I'm gonna introduce you to this person. I'm gonna connect you this way. And then when they walk out the room, yeah, I don't think they was interested in me. You didn't say nothing. You didn't even introduce yourself. You didn't have no elevator pitch. So now whose fault is it that you paid me to introduce you and do this and do your PR and put you, and you did nothing with it?
And that's why.
So I'm very careful when I talk about the clients that I work with. I only work with 8 clients a month for my own sanity, and I turn clients away every single day because it's not just going to be that $10,000 investment. It may be 60 days from now you may need to invest again. If you want to do an influencer campaign, these influencers ain't cheap. These ads are not cheap, right? Like, to post on Shade Room is like 15 grand. Clients come to me and say, okay, I want to build out my website. I want to do this. I want to influencer. I want to be on the Shade Room. I want to be on Baller Alert. And I want a movie premiere. My budget, $5,000. I'm like, bro.
There's no way. That doesn't even make sense.
It's no way. It's not that I'm not looking out for my people. It's just, I will show you every invoice. I will show you what the Shade Room costs. I will show you what the influencer costs. I'm very transparent with my clients. But at the end of the day, the person that is paying the money has to be okay with the results that they get from the work that they do not do.
Nah, and I say that I name drop because, like, bro, it's like I was one of them non-believers, and like just sitting in the rooms, like it's so important. It's funny how many Tom probably said that saying this year.
Yeah.
Like, get in the room. Yeah. Like, just being around these people, it opened my eyes of like, this is real. Like, you just gotta be there, bro. Just be willing to put in the work, man. It's like, man, but I say that because like I'm pretty sure you probably got it a lot, and like I'm gonna be your biggest, like, I don't know, advocate for sure.
See, I never, for me personally, I haven't got that a lot because I know the work that I've done.
But not you. I say like people in that.
Oh yeah, like, people in that space.
Yeah, because
like, for sure.
Even like Neo probably never got it, but I'm saying like just people in general in that like entrepreneur space.
Yeah,
you see it going around, and it's like.
But the crazy thing about it is, right? The crazy thing about it is, I made $16 million in my company. If I held back that information, if I'm like, nah, I don't help people, I'm good. Like, I'm chilling. I'm on the beach somewhere. The culture would be like, see, people like her don't want to put people on. Y'all don't want to give us the information. Y'all don't like to help nobody. Once you get to the top, you don't want to help nobody. You don't want to see them be successful. No, but when I give you the information and you don't do nothing with the information, now it's a scam. Which one do y'all want us to do? Do you want us to give y'all the information and tell you how we got here? Or do you want us to chill and be Oprah and Beyonce somewhere not showing y'all how to do it? And then y'all...
Be careful.
No, I'm saying I love. I'm gonna
beat that out.
No. I love Beyonce and I love Oprah. But what I'm saying is they're not teaching courses. They're not giving you the play on. This is how I do a tour. And then honestly, they don't have to.
But it's crazy because even in that, right? Even if, let's say you did it all for free, nobody would take it seriously. Bro, it's so much. I learned so much over this. I'm not even like you could get a game for free.
Let me tell you, when I was on my airbed, I started teaching classes in my retail store for free. Guess how many people showed up? 5. I started charging $25. Guess how many people showed up? 25. I was doing it for free. People don't value it.
They don't
value it. When you don't pay, you don't pay attention.
Facts.
How many ebooks, how many classes, how many free digital information, TikTok, YouTube, all of this stuff is out here for free, and y'all say, oh, I'm not doing Google University. But when you go to pay for somebody's class and you do nothing with it, like, man, we can talk about this all day because it really just drives me crazy because sometimes I've even questioned, like, am I giving too much away for nothing? You know, like, am I giving all this game away? Am I giving all these resources? Am I telling you, anybody that take my class, I tell you exactly where I found it, how to find it, where the vendor is, what the vendor name is, what the number is. Like, I don't gatekeep at all. If you get on a live in a conference with me, I put my hand, like, left hand, right hand up, whatever hand up. I don't gatekeep. I'm going to tell you exactly what got me to where I am, how I did it, who's the connect, all of that, because I know that even if I gave you the ingredients and my recipe, your sauce is going to be different.
Nah, bro, this is fire. I had to get into the entrepreneurship business bag because, like I said, I'm going to be one of the biggest advocates because, like, it's different.
But I know you're tired of everybody saying, oh, everybody take the mics away from the podcasters. No, do you see that all the time?
I see it all the time. I'm not tired of that.
You don't like it? I mean, you don't care?
I really don't care.
Oh, okay.
Take the mics away from all these niggas. Shit, it helped me. You feel me? Because my shit ain't going nowhere. I paid for this shit. Mine. But no, take the mics away. They be talking some bullshit. For sure. But nah, man, I guess, bro, this is great. I don't even know how we wrap up. Tell them how to contact you, how to follow you, how to get everything that you got going on, man.
Yeah, definitely. So I definitely want to start by saying, figure out, if you want to work with somebody, figure out who they really are, more than what you see online. Everybody has a certain persona online, or everyone, you may look at somebody's Instagram feed and think that they're a certain way, when in reality, they are totally different, right? So if you want to work with somebody, don't judge what you've seen or the perception that the media has crafted. Really get to know them for yourself before you invest in them or get them your money. That's the first thing. The second thing is, you guys can find me on Instagram, Miss Skittlez, MZSKITTLEZ, and my company's is Girl Mob. I own the largest co-working space for aspiring women in Atlanta. It's called the Bakery Co-work. All of y'all get free day passes on me. Just mention Jay Hill, pull up at the bakery, and then the Icing Agency is my marketing company. So,
and we say we giving 10 people?
Yeah, 10 people Elevate conference tickets for free.
What they gotta do?
They just gotta DM Girl Mob. That's GURLMOBB.
All right, you see, I'm getting y'all the best. I'm trying to get everything. I'm getting it from y'all.
Yeah, you got it.
I don't get to know you from this. I don't know how to.
Yeah, I mean, y'all learned everything. Y'all learned about my relationship. Y'all learned everything.
Everything. No, man, I appreciate you for even being willing to talk about everything.
Of course. I'm still growing. You know what I'm saying? We are put on this earth to still grow. So every single day I'm make mistakes, publicly, non-publicly, but I'm still going to grow through them.
It's hard, man. It's hard. Appreciate you, gang.
Yeah.
Miss Skittlez, J Hill Podcast is right. We out.